Philadelphia. Hello, everybody. John Barchard, Vince Quinn, Tim behind the camera, Paul on the drone. Yes, I said it, everybody. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you are missing out. There's a drone, and we're sitting in a literal soda factory. It is pretty awesome. Thank you so much for waiting. We have had a lot of information to get to. There are two new coordinators. Mike McCarthy thinks it's great to run the football to give his defense a rest.
It's the best.
And I've got a million bottles of soda and seltzer next to me. To my left, Vince Quinn is to my right. How are you, buddy?
I am so geeked out, man. This is so cool. This is a team, John. Look at this team. We got all these people working together, lights and cameras, and yeah, we are here. Get like the team, Reading Soda Works, and working with them, and we'll have a lot to say with them and the soda. But they've been so welcoming. It's cool to sit here. I mean, we're in front of the bottling machine, so
where they make it.
This is where they said 1.5 million bottles of soda comes from this machine right here in a year.
They think they can do 2 million, so it's pretty crazy.
2 million bottles of soda. So yeah, it's just like, it's so cool to be a part of all this. Obviously, the soda we've already made and just all the flavors they've got. It is completely ridiculous. You'll get your chances to get your hands on the soda.
Oh yeah, baby.
Man, just what a day that it's been, and we have so many exciting things coming around the corner.
Yeah, and the most exciting thing to me, other than being right here in Reading Soda Works, is the fact that I'd like to start with the good news. The thing that I'm most excited about. Brian Johnson! Thank God. This is getting underhyped, by the way. This is breathing fresh air again. This is the man that was in charge of third downs, the man that was in charge of the red zone offense. I knew something fucking was different. When I tell you that red zone offense last year in 2021 was dog shit all over the place, then Brian Johnson comes along, fixes that, and everything's good. The third down efficiency was great this year. Brian Johnson being all the bullshit PR stuff that, yeah, they know each other and the dad's coach, blah, blah, blah. That'll get shoved down your throat forever. But, man, like, I really do believe in this guy, relationship or not. Very creative guy. I think is very in tune with what Jalen Hurts, wants to do, what A.J. Brown likes to do. I just feel really good about this. And I don't know if this is horse hockey or not, but I tend to trust the old Reuben Frank over there because he kind of just says what he likes. And the man that they replaced Brian Johnson with, Alex Tanney, who seems to be the next up-and-coming star, which there seems to be a lot of those going through Philadelphia, and whether that's Howie doing PR. At this point, I don't think it is. The coaching staff's pretty fucking good. So, a lot of glowing reviews for a guy that basically retired from football as a quarterback, as a QB2, QB3 his entire life, going through Kansas City, Cleveland, all this other stuff. And there was a lot of relationships with Nick Sirianni. There's a lot of different relationships with basically that everybody's been on this staff already. So offensively, Nick Sirianni has come out and said there's not much that's going to change from the offense. And let me be the first one to say, bullshit. Bullshit, Nick. You can sell that to somebody else. This offense is changing, just like the defense is going to change, question mark. But, man, I don't know if this is just me being so thankful that Shane Steichen's going to fail miserably as in Indianapolis, and I'm going to be right about that. But I love the Brian Johnson idea. It was sold to us a long time ago, and I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, look, he gets Jalen Hurts, and that's the whole team. Jalen Hurts he's not the system as everybody's been talking about. He is the franchise. He's everything. And putting a guy like Brian Johnson, who has known him and all the stuff you talked about, to put him as the offensive coordinator is the natural thing to do. It's the right thing to do. The guy was a quarterback himself. I found out he was on the cover of like NCAA football 2009
Utah, baby.
or something like
right?
that.
I think, yeah.
He was on the cover for PS3, which is so funny and so great. So like he knows
what it's like.
One of the last
NCAA games, right?
Yeah, probably. And I know people have been scrambling for it to come back, but the EA is going to fuck it up anyway, so who cares? Yeah. They can't do Madden right. So anyway, like as you're looking at this, what was the thing that we were talking about before? It's that next step for the offense. It's fully handing the keys over to Jalen Hurts. Because what's the thing we don't really see a whole lot of? Audibles and moving guys around and just having full command of the offense. Like he was able to do a lot. They gave him a lot, but it didn't evolve all that much. Like there was kind of a ceiling of where it was at. So for him with his brain, which is like such an underrated aspect of what makes him so great and what drives us nuts when people don't appreciate him, making good decisions all the time. Let this guy make good decisions. Empower him. All the hot reads and stuff when he's getting blitzed, he's got poise, he's got composure. So he's going to be able to handle everything they throw at him, and this is the guy to throw it all at him.
Because they're going to pay him $55 million, and everybody's going to freak out about that. And You know, that's a whole that's going to be for 3 months, by the way. I don't think a Jalen Hurts deal gets done in a long time, but this just solidifies to me how much they believe from way beyond this year, that this was their kind of contingency plan for a long time. You know, like the fact that it fits so perfectly. Like I think Jalen Hurts was obviously their guy when they drafted him. I think this was the plan all along, and we're realizing that now. I don't think this is like a sudden wake-up call and be like, oh, yeah, by the way, we just in case Jalen Hurts works out. No way. They knew a long time ago, and I think this is the best fit. I know that I still think you can garner outside eyes from this, because I know some people were complaining it would be better. The Discord was complaining. Hello, Cato. Hello, Jake Camp.
We'll talk about them later.
Yeah, there's a lot to get into with that.
There is. It's a fun thing. Yeah.
But I still think you can, because Alex Tanney is a fast riser. So if you're a smart guy that understands where football is going and where it's at, and clearly Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie have been keeping their noses pretty clean in what's going on in college. We discussed that at length on our last episode. I just love the direction of what this can become. Brian Johnson's going to become a head coach really quick, especially if he's able to take this very high-powered offense, one of the most powerful ones of last year, and make it just as good or as better, or, rounds out the margins. Yeah, see you later. And then you have a great problem of this young quarterback coach who might be ready to be an OC right after that. Who knows? But forget the QB factory. This is an OC factory, and it's still gonna happen no matter what. I would imagine Brian Johnson isn't here for more than 2 years.
Yeah. Well, first off, this is Soda Factory. It's a soda factory, John. So you forgot already, but that's okay.
My
it's
bad.
a soda factory.
I forgot. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's okay. Reading Soda Works. But thinking about that, like, for me, the interesting thing is the offense has been the running game, and that set the tone for everything. And Jalen has been a big part of that, and I'm sure he still will be a big part of that going forward. He should be, but if you're opening it up now, where you're transitioning to Jalen and the passing game, and what he can do in the running game is more of a compliment, like this was, and I always say this because it's important. At the beginning of Sirianni's tenure, they had Jalen throwing the ball like 40 times a game, and it was dog shit. Now he's evolved, they've evolved. He's ready for that now. All the stuff they wanted to do 2 years ago, they can do that starting this year, and then maybe I do care about wide receiver 3, where right now I really don't.
You will after the combine's done, trust me.
We're going to take another tight end, baby. It's a tight end strong draft. Give me tight end number 2.
By the way, for later, don't mind it. Okay.
Yeah, so we can get into that. I'll have to watch some more tight end guys. But, I think that's where it's all going. So with Brian Johnson, I dig all that stuff. It's the right hire. He totally gets everything. You keep continuity and all that. But I do want to say on the other side, I love Dasai. I love it. I got to tell you, I'm a big fan. I mean, look, what do you hate it? So what's that about?
This is typical. Like, I mean, you could use the same argument for Brian Johnson. So what I'm about to say is a little bullshit, but I mean, it's just the name that's been floating around for a week and a half, and that's why you're like, hey, I like this. Hey, this guy's cool. I like this. Yeah, I'm like, all right, it's fine.
Well, he's the right kind of fit for what you're looking for. He knows the Fangio stuff, so he understands how that works. He can come in here. He's going to have an understanding of how the players that were on this team and how they played last year, how they'll fit into his system. So with all these free agent decisions to make, he can have some good input on that. I'm curious about the kind of input he's going to have. I mean, they could have gone with Denard Wilson. That guy was floated in the middle of the season, and we all thought he was going to be the next guy. And clearly they like Dasai enough to go another route. And here's the other thing, too. It's like you look at all these coaches, right? Gannon leaves. He takes Rallis with him. So that's some guys that you lose. Offensively, you lose Steichen, whether or not you think that's a loss, which you don't. But that's okay. You're losing a coach. And now you're getting another guy who is young, who's going to have his own guys that he's going to bring in. Like, you need fresh ideas. You always need to keep it interesting. So you can promote from within once in a while when you've got the horses to do it. But when you can get a good candidate on the outside, it's not just bringing in the coaches that they know and the ideas that they have, but it's also things like, okay, there's going to be players that he knows that are on the market and bringing those guys in. Like, it's just that familiarity and the connections, the network. So getting access to that keeps you fresh and allows you to go through cycles like this. So I just think from that idea of having a healthy organization, it's less inbreeding, John. It's less inbreeding. I don't know if you're a Game of Thrones guy. You don't want to be the Targaryens. It ends poorly.
Tim, you ever watch Game of Thrones? Okay.
Tim's not. Tim knows what's up. Don't be a Targaryen.
Paul, you ever watch Game of Thrones? No, all right. Thank God. We're split. Thank God.
Be a Stark. Well, some Starks. But anyway, so yeah, like it's just, I like the direction of it. He fits everything that they're doing. It's not a radical departure. Like 2 years ago, I mean, they were changing from a 4-3 to a 3-4 or 4-3 under, whatever. They were changing fundamentally how they played. It's like, that's a big leap. It's not a big leap anymore. And if you're going to make the most of this window as you're extending Hurts and the big contract that's going to be coming, you can maximize this year still. So I think that's huge. I really think it's a good fit.
I think it's fine. It's like eating a bowl of fucking grape nuts. Like, it's just, that's good.
Grape nuts. Are nice. Grape nuts good?
Fuck yeah, they're good.
What?
Oh, man, I'm probably the only one that eats grape nuts and ate grape nuts as a child. Shout out to Grandpa. But, like, I mean, it's good. You know what you're getting. The defense is not that, never has been the focal point. It always seems to make its way back around, and but I mean, if you're looking for like this new great experience with a guy that basically runs the same stuff, is a little more creative with movement.
Okay.
Do some fun things with the safeties.
Makes them guess.
I'm all for it, but in stops in Chicago and in stops in Seattle, you are going to get you're just going to get complaints left and right. This is not the hyper aggressive. This is not going after the RPO. This is the Eagles. Can we just say this out loud? The Eagles got fucked. They got fucked, and Jonathan Gannon fucked them a little, and then so did everybody else. They wanted Vic Fangio here. It's clear as fucking day. They wanted their linebacker coach to take over, and their backup plan was to hire Vic Fangio, or at least to keep that guy here, but clearly they were not going to offer that dude actually, or I don't know. I guess they made it sound very strongly like, oh, you took our future DC, and your boy Jeff McClain even said, yeah, maybe that was Jonathan Gannon used the language. Yeah, that was a mistake in taking that
taking
guy.
Nick Rallis.
Bullshit. If you think Nick Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon were on good terms on the way out, and I've got serious doubts if they were on good terms while it was all happening. You know, I mean, I do think Nick Sirianni thinks that Jonathan Gannon cost him a Super Bowl, and I do believe, just like CJGJ deleted that fucking tweet, was saying exactly what his coach was thinking and all that during that time, and that's probably floated around in the locker room. So, yeah, now, was this like, were they fighting all the time? I don't think so, but he's mad now. Nick Sirianni's fucking mad, and I don't think he loves this situation with the defense. I don't think Howie loves this situation with the defense. This is a punt. This is a guy that's touched Vic Fangio, and they're going, fine, because what else are we going to do? All of our options are out. Vic's out. The young kid's out. Gannon's out. Fuck! That's where we're at.
We have Denard Wilson. I mean, they like this guy.
They didn't hire him.
Well, I know, and he might
leave still.
He might be. Who knows? He could be like the new Deuce Staley, where it's like they really like this guy. They talk him up all the time. He never ends. It's always a bridesmaid, and he ends up going to like Detroit, like Deuce did. You know, it's just like I don't know. But for what I hear about him, he disguises things a whole lot more, which is what people want. You don't want to be predictable, right? So you want to force the other team to make mistakes and have guys that can make plays regardless. So
did Jonathan Gannon disguise things well?
No. Jonathan Gannon was super vanilla.
In coverage, yes, he did. All the shit that you complained about, Desai's going to do the same thing. He pulls edges and puts them into coverage. He will take linebackers and show blitz and never ever really fucking do it. You guys are going to go fucking nuts in 16 weeks, 18 weeks, whatever we got left to get. Even when you sniff the vanilla-ness of the preseason, people are going to be picking up their phones left and right and saying, what the fuck are we doing here?
Well, that's going to happen. That always happens, though.
But it's going to continue into the regular season, and without the words of, I don't have a scheme, there's not much difference between what we just went through. There isn't. There is not.
Man, you are so negative.
No. And that is okay, because the defense is not the focal point of any football team, nor should it be. It should be on the other side of the ball, and they're just fine over there.
Well, it should be that, but yeah, I mean, and their whole defense is free agents right now. Like, all their starters. I mean, the number that surprised me the most was I looked at the snap counts for all the Eagles defensive players last season, and out of all the guys that had the most snaps, out of 11 guys with the most snaps, 8 of them are free agents. 8 guys! Your whole fucking defense is on the market right now. So they got to replace a whole lot of stuff.
They won't sign anybody. Oh, my gosh. The Vince Quinn panic button continues.
No, I did not. How dare you? How dare you put words in my mouth? I didn't do any of that.
You said it in February. Now it's March.
No, I did not.
Free agency's right over there.
I did not say they're not signing anybody. I never said that.
8 of the 11. Yeah, I know.
It's a lot of guys.
We knew that August of last year that there would be 8 of the 11 starters
I didn't know those staff counts.
unsigned, plus Kelsey retiring maybe, and like, yes, we're here.
Well, yeah.
This is great. And the one's good. Here's the one.
I don't like the defensive coordinator. All our guys are on the market. This is great.
The options.
Okay.
Yeah, because at least here's the positive silver lining from my mouth to your ears.
Okay.
You can do. Howie needs a guy, and this is why I think they chose him. Howie needs a guy to be the GM of the defense. That's basically what Dasai is. He's been an assistant head coach for everybody. He's more big picture than probably game day executor. I'm sure Denard Wilson will be calling plays on Sunday. That's my prediction, is like they're going to entice him to stay and be like, you're going to call plays. We'll let everybody know you called plays, but he's designing. Just like it's set up on the other side. Why wouldn't they do that? I think that's what their intentions are here. So you could see some new wrinkles, and you could I don't know what I doubt they're going to go away from whatever they were envisioning here. Jordan Davis needs a lot of help. That's what you've been saying that for a while.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at, and I feel very comfortable that there is they planned the trade of A.J. Brown and all this stuff, and you don't think that they've like, okay, when this hits, now we're going to pour on the gasoline and pay this guy and rocket ship to a hopeful NFC journey of years beyond years of playoffs and NFC championships.
Look, I think they're going to be fine. I'm not like worried about this team, but it's just there's a lot of decisions to make is really the thing that I'm trying to say. There's with all those guys available and a new DC in here who like he's very similar, but yeah, like I mean the Javon Hargrave question is a $20 million a year question at least. So
well now
that's a big one.
I keep going back and forth. I've been leading out this whole time. I'm going, I just don't see why.
Him.
I don't see why you can't pay this man $20 million. And if you're saying goodbye to Fletcher Cox, that's good. That's good.
I mean, Fletcher, it's funny because they're two very different avenues, right? One is a guy that's in his prime that you could pay for one more big contract, and he's probably done after that because he's where Fletch is now.
Real quick.
Yeah.
1 year of Fletch for $11 million, 3 years of Hargrave for 20.
Hargrave.
Yeah, I think so too.
I love Hargrave. I've just always loved him.
Year, but yeah.
I've been such a fan of that guy, and he gets sacks. I mean, when you're getting a defensive tackle with double-digit sacks, like it's just such a killer thing. So he's worth that money. He's an elite pass rusher. Like that's the thing, and that's why these guys like Aaron Donald broke the market. He's getting like $30 million a year or something crazy. But also, he's one of the greatest interior rushers ever. He's like the greatest interior rusher ever. Because you think of all these other guys, like Reggie White was a defensive end. It's different. Aaron Donald getting double, triple teamed from the inside is just such a different thing. And it's that path, right? It's you're lined up closer to the quarterback. It's a shorter line to get there. It disrupts the offense so much. So getting a guy like that, identifying and bringing him in, like, yeah, I would love to keep Hargrave if I can, but it is a lot of money, and you got to figure out where all your other pieces are. So there's just so many things, and that's why I do think, you mentioned it earlier, I think they do sign Jalen before free agency because you just got to figure out what your structure is.
I don't think so at all. I think it goes way past free agency, to be honest with you, and it probably makes their argument of what they can pay. They can pay anything that they want to Jalen Hurts this year, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect the first year. It's just beyond the 2s and 3s, and that takes time. And, dude, they are, like, I know the Eagles want to get it done, but I can get – it's clutch sports, guys. They're – you know what they're going to do? Was Lamar not signed yet? We can keep waiting. This shit's going to go until there's either he's been tagged or traded or whatever, and then Joe Burrow's not going to sign.
Yeah, I can't imagine how he waits that long. There's no way.
Good luck.
No way.
Good luck if you think Howie can beat Clutch Sports.
Yeah.
Good luck. That is no way, dude.
Lamar Jackson is trying to do something that only one team in the league has, or well, now 2 teams in the league have done. And it's Kirk Cousins and with the Vikings and Watson with the Browns. No one is doing this.
That piece of shit, Deshaun Watson, changed everything. So if that piece of shit is worth that, then this awesome dude who has literally done everything right, including getting shit on left and right throughout the draft. And by the way, this applies to Jalen Hurts too, and you could use the same logic and same tone. Be like, no. I got you A.J. Brown. You did not get me. If I was not best friends with him, if I did not want to play with this man, A.J. Brown is not here. He even just said so on the, our good friend Darren Bates.
Raw
Room podcast. Fantastic show, by the way. Go subscribe to that if you haven't already. It's like they're going to stand steady because if Lamar gets a fully guaranteed, what's the ridiculous number? $360 million
he's looking for like
contract?
250 to 260.
So if they're flirting with 300, 310, 325, that only drives the market up. That means Jalen could probably guarantee himself 275.
No, he can't.
Yes,
he can't. Lamar just got offered like 135, and now they're in this weird tag situation. There's no way.
Because he said that's not enough. Try again. Kirk Cousins got paid this, and he sucks.
Well, he hasn't gotten paid that.
Exactly.
Well, exactly.
And if you paid Deshaun, a guy that didn't even play this year, and that's your new market, good fucking luck.
Well, he sucked.
The GMs right now are slightly making their balls and chests sweat profusely because of what's about to happen to the QB market.
Well, because of what he's trying to do, but there's so many other guys that are looking to get paid, and I think enough guys are fine to make the money. And not every guy is looking to change the league. Like, here's part of it, too. Lamar Jackson does not have an agent. It's just him. He has no politics to worry about. He's got the fucking NFLPA who's all about fighting for this stuff and guaranteed deals, and they want that for every single player, which I totally get because they fucked up. And you look at baseball and basketball and all these other guys getting paid.
It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. I mean,
this new generation is not going to take it anymore.
Well, and some guys are pushing.
All these guys coming up with NIL deals. Oh my God, no way! It's no way.
Well, and that's why the NFLPA is getting behind Lamar Jackson and trying to get him a guaranteed deal. But that doesn't mean there's plenty of other guys that look around and go like, yeah, this is generally what the market is. As long as you're paying me what I'm worth, I'm good. And I can totally like the conversation with Howie is so interesting because he at the combine they're asking him about this, and he's basically like, we know we need to pay Jalen, but also Jalen knows we need to get some players around him. So that doesn't sound like hardline, fuck you, $250 million all guaranteed or I'm out.
No, it's not that. I'm just saying Jalen's here long term. Howie knows he's here long term. This is the game that they play. This is battle time. This is when it's like they've been preparing for this for 2.5 years of research, of all this. It's hard to beat Howie Roseman. I know he's still going to make the best deal possible. Ooh, but I don't think they're going to. I'm just saying, this leads right up to OTA. At best, this leads up to OTA.
Week and a half before free agency. They get it done before free agency. Okay. June. Then you're out of your mind.
Then here's the thing: if I'm wrong and you're right.
Yes.
Which happens sometimes.
Yes, it does.
Then that contract is going to make everyone puke their guts out initially when they see it.
I don't think so.
Because the only way to get it done right now is to pay a fully guaranteed contract of some sort because Lamar is getting it. If it's not with the Ravens, it's with somebody.
It's not a lot that he's going to get that. That is what Lamar Jackson wants. That's what he wants.
It's a bunch of old fucks like Andrew Brandt and all these other guys and Joe Banner that think they know better because if they had I forget the dude's name, the best QB agent in the world, this would be a done deal by now. No, because that's exactly what everybody wants to avoid now. They're like, no way. The goddamn CBA was almost near 50-50. This is not what the NFL agents and GMs and executives went through 15, 20 years ago. They have no idea who they're messing with. That's all. It's
changing.
These players are just in our age group. We all agree with that. For the most part, in some form, all of our ages would be represented in an NFL locker room. They put their foot down. This isn't like, okay.
This is one guy that has not even gotten a deal.
Everybody is rooting for this to happen. Every player
half
is
of the
rooting
league
for this
all
to
the
happen.
Ownership is not, though. And
they're going to lose. They're going to lose this one.
Well,
That's
we'll see because right now the Ravens have not budged, and any team that goes and signs him, odds are, with the tag situation, they're going to have to pay him all of that money, all guaranteed, and give up 2 first-round picks. It's a lot. I don't know if somebody's willing to do it. Like, he can push for it all he wants.
I would have to flirt with Jalen Hurts for that deal. Are you kidding me?
You would seriously pay for Lamar Jackson?
Well,
you're out of your mind.
No, because then you lose AJ. And
I'd rather have Jalen than Lamar
I'd have
at
to
this
think
point.
about it. Emotionally, you can't do it.
I'd rather have Jalen over Lamar.
I'm just saying that you would have to consider it at that point.
I would no for that.
Because
no,
he's such a unique passer and has a very similar skill set to Jalen.
Well,
Hurts,
I'd say unique in terms of he's not as good a passer as Jalen Hurts. He's not. He's not. I'm telling you, he's not a better passer than Jalen Hurts.
He's not as accurate, but he's
not as good.
But he's got the Patrick Mahomes magic. Is all I'm saying.
But Hurts is dynamic. He's clean. I would rather have Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to make less money than that by a lot. He's going to have more of a standard contract. If anything, I would say if it's going to be out of the norm and figuring this out with big money, you go 6 years instead of 5.
215-509-5833. If you, I'm really curious what you think, or jump in our Discord, BellTheBirdmen.com. This is the I I don't know. I think I am not comfortable saying like it's Jalen over Lamar easily.
Oh so. Yeah, I'm over it. It was a I was team Lamar before the season. After the season, I got to go with Jalen's done more than Lamar Jackson ever has.
Okay, Vince Quinn.
When's Lamar played that well in a Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, I mean, it has a lot to do with drafting, Kyle Hamilton instead of defensive.
Oh yeah, because Jordan Davis's 12 snaps or whatever he did really changed the world.
Well, I tell you what, this that might not change the world, but literally where we're sitting right now is changing our world, and that's something that we want to make clear. So. Obviously, we've been a little quiet. We've been preparing for a lot of things, but we are very proud to say that our parent company that we started, not even 2 years ago, I think.
Basically a year ago.
Where myself and Vince Quinn and Taylor Kredatus are all partners in Sandbox Studios. We actually are forming a full-on partnership with Reading Soda Works, and that's part of the reason why we're here. And we're so fucking pumped about it because not only did they, this relationship started, I swear to God, with me loving their soda in the beginning. And I'm in the grocery store quite often, and I always go to the craft soda section, and these guys were always in it. I always had 4 or 5 flavors of them, and I just said, you know what? I'm just going to call them and just see what's going on here.
It's totally true.
Denton, who is the owner, the CFO, answers the phone right then and there. It's like, yeah, no problem. Here's what we do. We can make some soda for you. Their son Jared, who is very influential in making all this happen, knew who kind of we were, and it's quite impressive. So that was, Paul on the drone. Timmy Mack is behind this camera A here, and we are finally able to say we're expanding our business in a very big way, and this is a bunch of what we do when we're not talking about the Eagles. We help a lot of businesses with their content and, forming that and really doing cool stuff like this and, being able to take them on all the events that we do and just to be fully immersed in this. And it's kind of cool because we get to be involved in so many other different businesses and see how awesome it is. And this is a family owned business. So it has, it carries a lot of weight and blood, sweat, and tears. There's a lot we can relate to as business owners ourselves. So the operation here is amazing, and I can't wait for you guys to see all of the cool stuff that Tim and Paul has shot over the last couple of days and just kind of really immerse yourself into what we're doing over here. You can expect us to do a lot more shows here for sure, but we've got a lot of other surprises for you before the new season starts, and this is certainly one of them. So we couldn't be more ecstatic that we're sitting here right now.
Yeah, I mean, the soda's good, and that's what started all this. But they are amazing people. I mean, they're genuinely great people.
Yeah.
They've been great to us and welcoming us in and anything you need to try and any questions we've got and all that. But also just the side of how they treat their employees, which is everything, man. I mean, they're doing life insurance for their employees. They're building profit sharing, retirement fund. If they come in here, they're we want to take care of these people and make them feel like family. And for them to do that is just so special because there's so many times people be like, we're a family business. And then they'll be like, get back to work, you pieces of shit. And then, so my great-grandfather, 25,
Grandpapa,
it's just that kind of stuff. It's so ridiculous. So to see that this is a legitimate family business that feels like a family, everybody says it, and these people actually do it. So being a part of that is super cool. and be able to make content for them. Yeah, like that's our 9 to 5 more or less. And if you're ever looking, if you've got a business out there, we also help podcasts in the same way. So
absolutely,
if you've got any of that stuff, feel free to hit us up. Like John said, you can hit us up on the text line 215-509-5833, or we've got our website, Sandbox Productions. So SBX is what we do for short, sbxproductions.co, not .com. Yes.
And the other thing, too, is, because it's the things we love, and I didn't realize this, so they're they get very technical about it, but basically their carbonation process is so withstanding that the bubbles are just make everything richer, and I didn't understand that. I didn't understand how all those other big brands were, making our taste buds go fucked up left and right, where it's got the Pop Rocks feel when you sip down into like you're choking on all the carbonation. And this is the smoothest tasting, most flavorful fucking seltzer I've ever had in my life. So it's not just soda. Like, they make a ton of stuff. You brew beer here if you want to. They have dry ice. But this is legitimately the best tasting seltzer I have had. It's their Pinpoint Seltzer Blueberry Lemon. If you see it in a store anywhere, buy it immediately. It's as good as their soda. And normally that is not the case ever with soda companies. We are so ecstatic to do this. You will probably see a lot of this, and like, they're going to help us out with member boxes and a whole bunch of other stuff for the next season. We're really excited to bring that to you. So, whew, what an off season for everybody. The Eagles, for Bell and the Birdmen, for Sandbox Productions. Pretty fucking awesome. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I'm just like, on some level, I'm happy for us. Like, we put a lot of work in, a lot of time into this. This has been our lives, man. Like, we've put everything on the line for this, and it's coming together. So,
and that's because of you. So thank you guys for all the support, all the comments, all the DMs, all the crazy shit that we're doing, all the misscheduling, unscheduling. It's been awesome. So thank you guys. From the bottom of our hearts, we wouldn't be here without you guys. And trust me, we have got a lot of stuff in mind for you. That's coming up over all of March and through May, to be honest with you. So hang with us. We'll be here once a week, we promise. Our Thursday recordings will keep going, and we'll probably be in a ton of different places. So for myself, I'm John Barchard. That's Vince Quinn. Thank you to Paul. Thank you to Tim. And, of course, the best fucking engineer and producer in the land, and one of the greatest business partners in the world, Taylor Kredatus. This is Bell and the Birdmen, and we will see you very soon from Reading Soda Works. Okay, bye.